welcome to Football on 5 in a week when the sacking season took perhaps its strangest turn. We'll bring you all the action and all the big talking points too from across the EFL.
And we'll see if there's any goodwill left in our two guests tonight, Chris Iwelumo and Michael Gray. Good to see you both, and here's what's coming up.
Gary's a goner at the Blues. It's Zola and out for Rowett as Gianfranco kicks off a brave new era against Brighton.
Meanwhile, at Leeds, this Gary's going all out for promotion. Brentford were the latest test at Elland Road.
He's got options here. Ailing is one of them. Luke Ayling!
While at the wrong end of the table, there's late heartbreak for the bottom three. Some great action on the way this week. We're going to start at St Andrews, where this man, Gary Rowett, was sacked by owners Trillion Trophy Asia on Wednesday, just over 2 years after taking charge of a club lying second bottom of the Sky Bet Championship. After two 10th-place finishes, he left with Birmingham just outside the top 6 and only 3 points off third.
And with the manager's seat still warm, Gianfranco Zola was appointed barely 7 hours later. His first match in charge saw him up against second-place Brighton and Chris Hughton, the last Birmingham manager to take the club to the playoffs. Commentary comes from Danny Higginbottom and Gary Weaver.
Birmingham have gone down the road of, if it ain't broke, try and fix it anyway. And Gianfranco Zola couldn't have asked for a much tougher first assignment. Brighton are dynamic, powerful and unbeaten since September. And they tonight have come knocking on St Andrews' door, and they're looking for a quick start here with Anthony Knockaert. This now is Cotterill to thump the ball away for Birmingham City, looking for the physical presence of Lucas Jukovic. To tee up Davis. Davis putting the ball back, and here is Lucas Jukovic. The dangerous ball, and it was almost a perfect start for Gianfranco Zola as Michael Kieftenbeld came flying in, but was denied by the woodwork.
Great play from Jukovic. He finds himself in a little bit of space, puts a fantastic ball in. Kieftenbeld should have been scoring that.
He's a Hollywood name when it comes to football, brought in to sprinkle a bit of stardust on this part of Birmingham. And he almost had the perfect start. Anthony Knockaert the target here. Knockaert trying to get away from grounds, and he's done just that with a little bit of magic. Yeah, he has told us to pronounce his surname as Knockaert now, so we will do just that. Here's Stewart. Stewart, he does like to move inside onto his left foot, and he's picked out Grounds beautifully, and he's easily away from Knockaert. It's Grounds! Duffy in the way for Brighton as Stockdale was flying across his goal, anticipating the ball was coming his way.
Fantastic strike with his right foot, looking to bend it in at that far post. It's a fantastic block from Duffy.
There's Panos Pavlakis, the man who told Gary Rowett his time was up at midday on Wednesday. Gary Rowett then gathered the players and told them in a meeting at the club's training ground. And the players, I'm told, were visibly shocked and shaken by the news. This is Stewart for Birmingham City. Well, no, he wants to go on his left foot. Davis looking for Jukovic! Head and shoulders above everyone again.
Fantastic ball in. And a great header from Jukovic, but will be disappointed, Chris Hughton, just because of the simple fact they lost the ball in a key area, but take nothing away from Birmingham City. And Davis, fantastic from him, and a great finish from Jukovic.
There's Davis, slammed into in no uncertain terms there by Duffy, who may have injured himself making that challenge, and the shot fired forwards, and Stockdale had to be on his toes. He wins that battle that time against Jukovic.
Great first touch, and it's a fantastic strike and good save from Stockdale.
Brighton, remember, unbeaten in the last 15 games going back to September. Bong Glenn Murray. Solly March. He's a danger man right now as far as Brighton are concerned, and Birmingham trying to stop him. And it's fizzed in. That's a fantastic finish. Anthony Knockart. Every goal he scores now will be full of emotion after what he's been through recently. A goal dedicated to his biggest fan, his father.
Look at the numbers that Birmingham have got in there. Knockart, he comes from that far post, comes across, he hits it so sweet. It's in the back of the net before Kuszczak can do anything about it, and Chris Hughton, he'll be absolutely delighted because his substitutes have made a real impact, in particular Solly March.
Kuszczak coming for it, but was beaten to it, and the ball is cleared off the line almost. Solly March. Well, Thomas Kuszczak made a big decision to come for that ball. He didn't get near it and almost paid the price.
Kuszczak's gone into an area where he shouldn't have gone into. Grounds anticipated it and got back to the line.
Nervy times at St Andrews, and Brighton have themselves a free kick with what will possibly be the last act of this game. Bruno has made a late dash forward here. Birmingham head got to it again. Real hunger, real desire. Jukovic, I think he was in the midst of all that. Knockhart's corner. It's Murray! Winners find answers. Promotion candidates find their solution. Brighton have found the answer tonight, thanks to Glenn Murray.
All they needed was one good ball in, and that's what it was. Fantastic ball, but what a header from Murray. And you can see the response from Hughton and the rest of his coaching staff, how much it means to them.
Glenn, you pick your moments, don't you? Just describe when the ball hit the net there.
No, it's one of those ones I've just got a glance on it, and it seemed to take an eternity dropping the back of net, but luckily it did, and we got away with one this afternoon.
Anthony, we can see what that meant for you. Was that for your dad?
Yeah, exactly. That's the first one I scored since he passed away, and obviously for me it was an important moment, and obviously I dedicate this goal to him, and I love him.
I think in what we have up front, you know, we've got good movement, and if we persist enough, we know that they can get opportunities. And sometimes you need to leave it till late in the game, and certainly today was one of them examples.
To be honest, I didn't expect the players to perform as well as they did today. I cannot blame them, actually. I feel for them because to lose a game in this way, no matter if you are playing against the top, it's really painful.
Hard to take for Zola in his first match in charge. Brighton unbeaten in 16. Chris, though, it did look like he was going to get off to a winning start, didn't it, with Jukovic with that header. How impressive is this header?
No, it's his movement as well. You know, Duffy's trying to fuel from him. He's always on the move. Great ball from David Davis there. I think Duffy can challenge more, but he had to put all the power into it himself and just guided it into the far end. You know, look at the movement there. I think Duffy can challenge, but what a header. Great
He's
power.
on his way down there.
It is. He's hung there, isn't he? But it's a great ball from David Davis as well.
Absolutely. Brighton, though, fought their way back into it. Mickey, how key was the introduction of Solly March for them?
Well, he was the game changer, wasn't he? I think you see some wonderful skill from him here down the left-hand side. Gets himself in a great area, but puts a wonderful ball in. And Anthony Knockart there, just late on in the game as well. Wonderful finish. Obviously, celebrating this goal as well after his father's passing as well. So it was a wonderful moment from him, and he was the one actually who put the ball into the box for the winning goal for Glenn Murray as well. So I have to say, overall, I think Birmingham were a little bit hard done by, but this is what happens when you're at the top of the table. It's a great finish from Brighton.
Can you understand in any way why Birmingham would have sacked Gary Rowett, or do you think he's been completely hard done by?
Oh, look, he's been hard done by, there's no question about it, but I think, you know, Birmingham obviously looking to go in a different direction. This is why Zola's came into the football club. He'll probably get them playing a different way, but that'll take time. Strange coming in the middle of a season as well, but I think it won't be long until we see Gary Rowett back in football because he's done a wonderful job.
When we look at the stats under Rowett, does this give us a bit of an indication of what the owners are hoping Zola will bring? Because they don't have much of the ball, they don't score many goals from open play, you know, the third worst in the division.
Well, look, I mean, they're probably after a little bit more possession. I think we'll probably see signs of it today, although Zola's only been there for a day. He's probably trying to get his point across to the players straight away. It's going to take time. But I think when you look at what Birmingham have achieved under Gary Rowett, I think, you know, he needs a big pat on the back. He's been absolutely wonderful for the club.
Why Zola, Chris? Because you've worked under him at Watford.
You know, a great player in his time. He'll have the respect of the dressing room as soon as he comes in. For me, it's the brand of football. They want to play entertaining football. That doesn't guarantee you results. No way. You know, I think it's a massive job for him. I think he'll improve the players individually. As a group, yes. But it's a difficult job. You know, I think they've got Newcastle, they've got Derby next, Newcastle coming in a couple more games. You know, they've got to get results because it's a result business. There wasn't very much wrong when Gary Rowett was there, but the brand, and that's what it is. It's about entertainment as well.
OK, well, Brighton have been trading places with Newcastle at the top of the table over the last week or so.
Yes, Rafa Benitez and his team reclaimed pole position with a win at Wigan on Wednesday. Today, they were at Burton for the first ever meeting of the two clubs in what Nigel Clough called the biggest mismatch of the season.
The quality of Newcastle's opening goal highlighted what Burton were up against here. From John Joe Shelby's perfect first-time pass, Matt Ritchie provided the assist for Dwight Gale. This little flick takes his goal tally for the season to 17, as many as Andy Carroll and Kevin Nolan managed in total during the Magpies' last promotion campaign. But Burton weren't overawed by their illustrious visitors. Far from it. The Brewers were back level within 5 minutes. Lloyd Dyer converting John Brayford's cross to make it 1-1. Fortunately for Newcastle, Mo Diame has suddenly found form. The Magpies have had to be patient with him and have been rewarded. On song at last, Diame's 2 goals this week have secured the Magpies the Christmas #1 spot. The second half saw Newcastle in lockdown mode and having to survive a few scares. Jimmy Ward came close for Burton, who had the greater chances in this supposed mismatch, but still went down to their 3rd consecutive defeat. Newcastle held out under the pressure. Carl McFadzean, another who couldn't translate second-half dominance into an equalising goal.
It's a brilliant club, we've got a brilliant chairman, but we can't afford £10 million strikers that make the difference. What we do rely on is the wholeheartedness of the players, who give absolutely everything again today.
We knew that it could be a difficult game, and it was a difficult game. It was, physically they were strong, they were pushing, and then obviously we were complaining about things and they were complaining about things, but in the end we saw character is what we have to do.
Yeah, another win for Newcastle, Chris, but they had a bit of a scare in this one.
You know, Nigel Clough's got them organised. They ran them close, created chances, put them on the back foot, frustrated them.
Good chances as well.
Yeah, you know, and they play good football, very fit, organised group, and that's the difference. He's saying there about having the money to spend and bringing in that quality that makes a difference at this level. You know, Wardell with a shot, never really troubled the keeper. He made an error, but like you say, they're at it, they're organised, they're a fit group. They ask the questions, and Newcastle never had it all the way today, for sure.
Mickey, not the mismatch many might have anticipated. Did Nigel Clough perhaps take the pressure off his players by saying what he did about it being the biggest mismatch in
Absolutely, and I think that's great man management. You know, I think he took the pressure right off the players. They were allowed to go out and express themselves, which they did today. Unfortunately, he couldn't get over the finish line because Newcastle were just a little bit too strong. But overall, a real good game, a good performance from both teams.
OK, well, from the top of the table to the jockeying for position in the playoff spots. Could Leeds maintain their momentum with a win against Brentford? This is Football on 5 and you're watching highlights from the Sky Bet Championship, and we're off to Elland Road next.
Yes, where Leeds have, well, they've won 6 out of 8 of their last games to muscle their way into the top 6. Today they were up against Brentford, who after a run of 4 straight defeats have bounced back with successive victories. Your commentator for this one is Paul Walker.
Sawyers. Janssen in firmly on Maxime Collin. Looking ball for Dakara. Has he got the legs to beat Tom Field to it? He has done. And that's nice. Sacco arriving. And Sacco's ball in. First corner of the match for Leeds. He knows that Sacco's coming in. Final ball wasn't the best. It's Sacco. He goes beyond Vibe. A chance potentially. The Brentford counter, but the clearance wasn't the best, and this is Kemar Roof. He's forced wide by Maxime Colin, back for Dallas, who shanks it over the top. Well, Brentford causing their own problems. Ryan Woods playing the ball straight off Phillips. Pinballs around. Kemar Roof teeing up Dallas, who skies one over the bar. Linares just brushing Sacco off the ball. Sawyers. Now Tom Field. Another good cross, Hogan behind it. And a clever run across the front, Scott Hogan. He does have brilliant movement. Able to pick his spot there, but difficult to generate the power. And Vibe gets tricked. Tries to spin away quickly. Ronaldo Vieira. Sufficient contact to bring Vibe down. Over the top it goes for Vibe, and Hogan! Flag is up. Celebrations cut very short. Hogan ruled offside. You can see there, right at the very start of that free kick, he's began in an offside position and ultimately looks across the line. Charlie Taylor being hounded down by a combination of Vibe and Hogan moving through into the area. They're looking for a penalty. Hogan pushes it beyond Janssen. Now the arm comes out. Let's have another look from this angle here. I think he would have been extremely fortunate to have got that, Scott Hogan. Bacara's flick. Dallas in behind here. Can he make the most of this? Well, being put behind by Harley Dean for a Leeds corner. Just gets half a yard there, Stuart Dallas. Dallas delivers. Taken down beautifully by Ayling. Well, the first touch was excellent. The second, not so much. Terrific control to set himself up. And then lashes the ball over the bar. Pocket pick by Dallas. Now that is a good-looking ball for Dakara, who's in the clear here. Is this the moment for Leeds? It's Dakara! It's been that kind of day. Fabulous ball from Stuart Dallas, outside of the right boot. Dakara driving into the middle, tries to find the far post but fails. It is Leeds' best opening of the match. Roof. Over the top it goes, and Sacco does his best to get there and has got there. Brentford claiming the ball went out. He's got options here. Ayling is one of them. Luke Ayling! Sacco does brilliantly to keep it in play. Well, Brentford there claiming the ball had gone out. In the end it mattered not, because Luke Ayling, when he eventually dug out the shot, fired wide. Sacco puts his foot down on the accelerator. Paddy Sacco played it low. Deflects away. It's a corner for Leeds. Teased in by Dallas. Surely has won it for Leeds. Teased in by Dallas. It's a free header for Kyle Bartley. And Leeds will finish at Ellen Road in this calendar year with a win. Barbe's throw. In towards Dean, got a flick. Shot on the turn, just over the top from John Egan. Great instinct from John Egan.
We have a lot of improvement to go. It's a very young side. They have their ups and downs, but you know, they continue to show this spirit, this attitude, and at times our quality, and we can keep trying to improve that side of it as well. Yeah, of course the future will look good, but right now we're just fighting for every 3 points. That's the most important bit to us.
We didn't deserve that. I thought for an hour we were very good. Good organisation, good discipline, and made a good team look average for an hour. You know, we've had a goal chalked off where it was marginally onside, you know, and sometimes then decisions go against you, and today it did.
Dean Smith not happy at all that Scott Hogan's goal was disallowed for offside at 0-0. Mickey, what did you make of it? Should it have stood?
Yeah, absolutely, but I just don't understand this ruling where you can stand in an offside position first and foremost, but if you just look across the 6-yard line here, he's actually onside, Scott Hogan, when he puts the ball in the back of the net. Well, until they sort this rule out, whether you're offside from a dead ball free kick like that in the first place, because he's just stood in a free position in the area, but the ball does actually go back a little bit before he sticks it in the back of the net, and it should have actually stood.
We've had to watch that several times to work it out, so how can you expect the referee to do it in real time?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, look, he's got the help, obviously, from his assistants on the line as well there, but, you know, they're big calls. That was 0-0 at the time as well. They need to get that right.
Chris, Leeds will consolidate their place in the playoff positions. Not the best performance from them today, though, but Cal Bartley from a nightmare against Brighton to the hero.
Like you say, attacks the ball well, great ball in, attacks the ball at its highest point. You know, he's got them organised. They're not playing great, but it's a result business.
And that will feel so good for Gary Monk, knowing, certainly first half, Leeds were poor, and they still get a result.
Yeah, but it's game management. It's knowing what to do when you're under the cosh. They come together, they're organised, they work hard for each other. You're going to get your moment, and they took it today.
Right, stay with us. We have more Championship action on the way. Blackburn were trying out a new Christmas tree formation at Ewood Park, but would it bring them 3 points against Reading?
The festive period with Football on 5.
Oh, Sidwell spotted the keeper off the line! I do not believe that!
We'll bring you the Christmas crackers.
Over the top for Bent. Oh, what a goal!
The gifts that keep on giving.
Puts it past his own goalkeeper.
And the traditional family argument. So join us on Boxing Day, New Year's Eve and January the 2nd for all the highlights from the EFL at the regular time of 9 p.m.
Yep, we're working all the way through, so the least you can do is join us. Welcome back to Football on 5. Friday night's match in the Sky Bet Championship is next. This one saw Norwich take on Huddersfield at Carrow Road.
The home side were looking to build on the midweek success over Aston Villa. The visitors are looking for a third win on the bounce. Your commentators Andy Hinchcliffe and Daniel Mann.
Well, when they're in possession, this is the shape we're probably going to see from Huddersfield, with Hogg just sitting in between the two centre-halves. Lerver and Smith can push on.
When they're in possession, here's Murphy. Oliveira, chance on! It was on his weaker side. Stankovic got across, and importantly so for Huddersfield.
His first touch is decent, opens the angle up for himself, just slashes at it.
Palmer. Smith arriving. Oh, and it's buried by Kachunga. And Carrow Road is stunned inside 5 minutes.
It's a wonderful way of pass. It's a tight call. He's possibly offside here, Kachunga. That ball is played. To me, looks half a yard offside. Very hard for the officials to pick it up. Decent service into the box. There has to be a question mark about whether the goal should stand.
Oh, and Howson with a chance for an instant response, and they've got it! Barely a minute after going behind, the Norwich captain has struck back exactly what they needed.
There's no pace on the cross, it's just lofted into the box. Howson's got to generate all the pace and the accuracy. It's a stunning header. And if we wondered about Norwich's character, we've just seen it. They're not going to just sit back and be beaten here.
Dorrans. Hounded there by Palmer, and that's a very chancy ball indeed, which Nicky Wells has taken down. Chance still on, but Basong and Bennett between them saved the day for Norwich.
Well, it is a shocking back pass. I'm not sure this first touch from Nicky Wells is absolutely intentional.
Forward by Stankovic, into Kachunga. Again, Smith well forward. It's Kachunga now for Huddersfield. A second for him. A second for Huddersfield. And the game now more reflective of their dominance.
It's down to the Norwich midfield where they're pressing Huddersfield, but that one pass bypasses their midfield, then suddenly Kachunga's running at them. And Tommy Smith was brilliant. That little layoff back into Kachunga, nice and early. It's just a toe poke, goes through Basong.
Well, this is turning into a statement performance from Huddersfield Town. A bouncing ball, and Oliveira is there! Not this time. With a couple of chances he's had, he's not been able to take. Well, they keep going without any major reward just yet. Jerome again coming near post, again Basong gets up!
He should be at the very least hitting the target. If he hits the target from there, he does equalise.
Ultimately, what I did a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever it was, doesn't matter now. You know, ultimately, it's what we do now. And we didn't win the game. You know, I mean, results are the be-all and end-all. Performances, chances, nobody really cares about that. And if I'm being honest, first half we didn't play well anyway. So, yeah, I think there's always going to be pressure. There's pressure from myself. There's always going to be pressure from out with. And ultimately, the Norwich fans demand and deserve that we should win more games than we lose. And that's not been the case.
So, Chris's tip for relegation beat Mickey's tip for the title. We know our stuff here. We'll talk about Huddersfield, Mickey, in just a moment. Norwich, though, they've lost 7 of 9. Alex Neil, precarious, and increasingly so. And the problem he's got now is that people say, Gary Rowett's available, you know.
Exactly. You know, there's always pressure on every manager, expectation to go out there and get results. He's not going to shy away from it, the character that he is. He needs his players to really step up and play for him. I feel that he's questioned the arrogance. You should be arrogant from doing the right things, winning games, gathering that momentum.
They've not beaten anyone in the top half.
And that says it all. With the squad that they've got, the quality and depth that they have, it's just not good enough. And it's something that needs to be addressed quickly. But I know him, and he will not shy away from it. He will put the demands on the players, and it's up to them to walk, when they cross the line, to do the right thing.
Mickey, let's give Huddersfield a bit of love. They had a little sticky patch.
Yeah.
They've got it right. They're sparkling again in what's quite a congested playoff battle.
Yeah, and look, I think it's all credit to them, how you bounce back, and what a partnership this is. You know, I think this just proves how Huddersfield play. You know, you're right back, Tommy Smith coming up with assists like he is for Kachunga. The first one there was a question mark of offside, but the second one there, again, it's wonderful play down the right-hand side. And I think that's 6 goals he's set up for him this season. So, I mean, there's a great partnership there. But this is just the way that Huddersfield play under David Wagner. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. I mean, the second goal there, I mean, it shouldn't actually go in the back of the net, but it does. And you have to credit the way Huddersfield have been playing, getting performances, working hard, and they are where they are because they deserve to be.
And they've still not been out of the top half, having never been in it
Yeah,
last season,
absolutely.
which is a big effort.
Sitting pretty in 4th. OK, our next roundup starts with Derby County, who made it a magnificent 7 successive wins with victory over QPR on Wednesday.
Well, today they faced free-scoring Fulham at Craven Cottage, where the Rams last tasted league victory some 47 years ago.
And the wait goes on for another season, despite Derby taking a 34th-minute lead. Tom Ince is enjoying a great run of form, so not someone you want to let loose on goal. That's what Fulham did. That was the price they paid. That's 7 in as many games now for Ince. With 7 league wins in a row and 5 clean sheets, the Rams would have been favourites to push on from there, but Fulham have been among the goals in December, and nobody more so than Floyd Ayite. His first half stoppage time tap-in from Ryan Frederick's cross was the Togolese winger's 4th goal of the calendar month. That made it 12 goals from Fulham's last 4 matches, and the 13th would arrive just past the hour, and it was certainly unlucky for Derby defender Alex Pearce, who could have stopped Stefan Johansson's shot, but chose instead to take a wild swing with calamitous consequences. A red face from the Rams defender, but with 15 minutes left, he was able to spare his own blushes, although he probably wouldn't have expected to be left all alone at a corner. And that was the end of the scoring, although there was so nearly a late Fulham winner from Chelsea loanee Lucas Piazon. Excellent entertainment from two genuine playoff contenders and a fair result.
I think it was a great game. It was end-to-end, very, very good, especially going forward. And we had one or two opportunities as well. Played really well first half, and two good teams.
Rotherham felt hard done by in the South Yorkshire derby. Tom Adeyemi thought he'd scored. Referee Tim Robinson thought he'd seen a foul. Ironically, Hillsborough is a ground that's been good to the Millers. The home side hadn't beaten them there since 1981. And when Lucas João saw Darnell Fisher clear off the line, history looked set to repeat itself. But a controversial injury time penalty changed all that. João tangled with Richard Wood, and referee Robinson pointed to the spot. To add insult to Rotherham injury, he also pointed to the dressing rooms for Wood. It all meant that Stephen Fletcher had the chance to inflict a painful defeat on the division's bottom club, and he took it. Leaving Rotherham to make the 9-mile journey home, still grumbling about the goal that never was.
Well, I've watched it back, and I don't know why it's been ruled out. I don't, honestly, I don't. Someone who gets paid more money than me will probably be able to tell me, but I can't see where there's a foul, and I'm not looking at it with biased eyes. I'm an honest bloke. I just cannot see a foul there, and it'll be interesting to see what the ref says, because I didn't see anything.
Gareth McCleary is having his best ever scoring season for Reading. This time he claimed an assist a third of the way through the contest. Academy graduate Dominic Samuel latched onto his pass to register his second for the club. Rovers boss Owen Coyle will be pleased with the way his team responded to going behind. They squandered chances, the most notable falling to Marvin Emnes. Blackburn were aiming to avoid their first ever league defeat to this opposition at Ewood Park. Sam Gallagher's attempt to reach double figures for the club was foiled by Ali Al-Habsi. Then Liam Moore headed Emnes' effort from underneath the bar. The inevitable leveller came from the resulting corner. Danny Graham on target with his 6th goal in as many appearances. He could hardly miss. It was a thrilling, chance-filled encounter. And the visitors retook the lead with an hour played. Liam Kelly gave it some welly, and another Liam Moore reacted well to the rebound for the team looking to make it 7 wins in 9. With 4 central defenders out injured, Wes Brown was making his first championship start in the home defence, and he made it a memorable one with the second equaliser of the afternoon. It wasn't enough to clinch a point though. McCleary leading his team back up to 3rd with another sublime setup. George Evans, the injury time hero. A 5th away victory for Jaap Stam's outfit. Rovers remain in the bottom 3.
And nobody expected us to be up there. We knew, of course, that we have quality within in the squad, even with injuries and with suspensions of players. We still managed to get results, and I think that's good. But it's not only about quality that you have; it's also about mentality that's in the team within the club. Everybody's willing to work for each other to get results, and we're very happy with that.
Oh, heartbreak for Blackburn, a third 3-2 defeat in a row. Mickey, do you feel your old side deserved something from that?
Well, they're improving, aren't they? I think they just need a few results because now they're starting to score goals. I think we saw the goal from Danny Graham. I think that's 6 and 6 for him now as well. And great to see Wes on the score sheet as well. I think that was his first goal in 5 years as well, so it was incredible. So they fought hard, and I think that's nice to see. You know, they are getting the goals, but unfortunately, the results just aren't there for them. And if you can't hang on near the end of the game, this is what happens. You get punished and you don't get anything from the game. But you can see positive signs from Blackburn. They're getting there. They just need to start getting some results and climbing up the table.
And Chris, heartbreak as well for Rotherham. Paul Warren just saying he can't see where the foul is for this goal disallowed.
Complete agreement to Paul Warren. He goes up, challenges Adeyemi there, and it's a scruffy one, head, shoulder, but there's no foul there. You go up, it's a natural thing to do. You jump with your arms up.
You certainly did.
Yeah, well, of course I did. As well, the penalty against Richard Wood's never been a penalty, never been a red card. João puts his foot into Richard Wood. He's actually trying to stop himself from challenging. like I say, I know it's a difficult job for the referees, but they've got to get these right. I think when you're down there at the bottom, things go against you, and I really feel for Rotherham today.
Really suffering at the moment. Mickey, a great game at Fulham between two of the in-form sides.
Yeah.
Tom Ince, another goal, 7th in his last 7 games, 18 in 29 under Steve McLaren. What is it about McLaren that just seems to unlock that potential of Tom Ince?
Well, look, a player that wasn't playing under Nigel Pearson as well. We all know he's got the ability, Tom Ince, but I think, you know, if you've got him on side, full of confidence like he was today, I mean, it's a great finish with his right foot as well. He's going to win you games. You know, I didn't win today, unfortunately, for him, but I think a wonderful performance, and it was actually a great game, that, to watch.
Yeah, it really was. OK, stay with us for more action from the Sky Bet Championship, including a fantastic and sometimes calamitous game in South Wales between Cardiff and Barnsley.
Welcome back. You're watching highlights from the Sky Bet Championship on Football on 5. 2 more matches to bring you now. We'll start with Barnsley and their visit to Cardiff.
The home side was still without Sol Bamba following his red card against Ipswich last Saturday, for which he's since apologised to all concerned this week.
Having climbed out of the bottom 3 in midweek, Sean Morrison's early goal had improving Cardiff hopeful of back-to-back wins for the first time since March. But Barnsley's record on the road is decent, and it wasn't long before they were back in this one. Sam Winnell's looping header left Ben Amos stranded, and the Tykes were back on terms. Some disorganised defending assisted the Barnsley comeback. Plenty of time and space to take this chance, Winnell scoring his 5th goal in as many league games. Already dangerous on the counter-attack, goalkeeper Amos made it even easier for Barnsley to score a 3rd. Josh Scowen on target as the interval approached. We can only imagine the intensity of the half-time hairdryer treatment dished out by Neil Warnock, but it brought about a Cardiff comeback. Peter Whittingham punished Scowen's mistake to make a game of it. And when Anthony Pilkington bundled in an 89th minute equaliser, the Bluebirds were hastily celebrating what they assumed would be a hard-earned point. But Barnsley substitute Ryan Williams had the final say. His first touch of the ball came in the 95th minute, and it was a critical one, inflicting upon Cardiff only their 2nd home defeat under the new manager.
In general, I thought we played quite well, apart from the mistakes, really. And I've got to put... There's only me can put that right, and I know where it needs changing, and I'm going to change it.
Cardiff threw absolutely everything at us second half, and when it went back to 3-3, then you're obviously sick. We'd be sick, they'd be delighted. But the spirit in the team's fantastic, and we just happened to put fresh legs on. And it was the 2 boys who we brought on with the energy. Marley down one side, doing great to get the ball across, and then Ryan on the other side tapping in.
Bristol City boss Lee Johnson thinks his players have lost their mojo, and after 5 defeats in 6, you can see why. Joe Bryan tried to find it, but Chris Maxwell made sure he didn't. No such problems for Preston, who just love Ashton Gate. They've won their last 2 trips there, and they were heading for 3 in a row when Simon Mackinock tapped in goal number 6 of the season. Work to do then for the home side, and goalkeeper Ivan Lucic in particular, who was making his first league start. Tom Clark, the man denied. The Preston right was a rich source of opportunity, and Callum Robinson went mighty close to extending their lead in the last minute of the half. The home side survived though, and almost made the most of their luck in the first minute after the break. Teenage top scorer Tammy Abraham so close to doing everything right. Bristol City's equaliser would eventually come from a player 18 years Abraham's senior. Aaron Wilbraham on target for the 4th time this campaign, with 12 minutes to go. So, could the Robins hold on? The answer came just 7 minutes later. Only Daniel Johnson will know whether he was trying to cross or shoot. The end result, though, certainly justified the means.
Cross, I would say.
Definite, Sean, definite.
Lee Johnson, Bristol City, 6 defeats in 7, but Preston seemed to be getting things right after the two players, the embarrassment of the two players fighting each other.
Well, unbeaten since Sheffield Wednesday, you know, I think 2 wins as well. But like, it was game management again today. The Bristol City's seen a lot of the ball, we're having a lot of their way. But Simon Grayson, he's got them organised, and they showed reaction again. They get the equaliser. Bristol City do, and Daniel Johnson goes in, for me, bit of luck, but like you say, well deserved.
Extraordinary game, Mickey, at Cardiff. Neil Warnock will be fuming tonight.
Oh, well, I think you just mentioned the mistakes that were made in this game as well, and got off to a very good start when they got themselves in front, but, you know, I think it was all about Barnsley after that, and the mistakes.
3-3 in the last minute, and then this.
It was incredible. I mean, this is how you don't want to lose a game. 92nd minute, I think it was, to stick the ball in the back of the net. But as Neil said about those mistakes that his side made today, I mean, it's just criminal, really. When you're at the bottom of the table, you can't make mistakes like that. I mean, I think it was the 3rd goal that Barnsley scored from Ben Amos, coming off his line. It was just...
Only Newcastle have scored more away goals than Barnsley this year. There you are.
Good stats. I like it. OK, 2 more games to bring you. And next, we're at the City Ground for Nottingham Forest against Wolves.
It's 1 win in 12 for Paul Lambert's team, who arrived 2 points and 2 places above the bottom 3.
Wolves went in search of their 2nd win under Paul Lambert in the East Midlands, and they opened the scoring from the tightest of angles, with the first half drawing to a close. Helder Costa's 6th of the campaign. Forest approached this round of fixtures with only bottom club Rotherham having conceded more Championship goals, and they nearly shipped another one to Ivan Cavallero. The shot from Ivan after terrible defending. He did get his goal 11 minutes from time to seal the success for Wolves. They're now within a point of Philippe Montanier's men in the table. The home side's inconsistent form continues. Matt Mills collided with Nua Dicko near the end as the visitors chased a 3rd. 2 was more than enough, though.
We've been playing well. Only half I've been disappointed with has been Cardiff away, second half. Other than that, we've always been in games, and coming here against a team that has been on a little bit of a roll, to come and win was excellent.
Wigan haven't won or scored on their own turf since September and made a bad start against Ipswich, although Dan Burn protested his innocence after being deemed guilty of a foul on Tom Lawrence. Brett Pitman calmly rolled in his 2nd goal of the season from the spot. The division's lowest scorers were level on 35 minutes. Bartosz Bielkowski kept out Max Power's rasping free kick, but the rebound fell perfectly for Yannick Wildschut. And as fog descended in the 2nd half, Bielkowski had to stay alert as the Latics looked for more. An important double save from Will Grigg and Jake Buxton. As visibility started to become an issue, Wildschut decided to take matters into his own hands. Hard to believe the Dutchman had scored just once all campaign prior to this. That was a finish of genuine class. And it could have been the springboard for a rare Wigan win, only for Bielkowski to make a vital save as Power tried his luck from range again. Within minutes, Ipswich drew level, and you'll just have to take our word for it that substitute David McGoldrick was the man who made the difference. First, he was involved in setting up Pitman for the equaliser. And as the mist threatened to engulf the stadium in the closing stages, McGoldrick again with the sharpest eyes on the pitch to turn in the winner off the post. Wigan fans are probably just grateful they couldn't see it.
Even at 2-2, could have gone either way. It was a boxing match. If you keep getting it to Yannick, there's a chance that we win the game as well. So I think it's just game management a little bit better in this league.
He'd be scratching his head, Warren, thinking, how have we not won that game with the 2nd half performance? But our subs have made a difference. We kept going, and it's great. Nice to have a win before Christmas, no game for 9 days.
Fair assessment from Mick McCarthy there. Roller coaster game it was in the fog there, Chris. Did Ipswich still get very fortunate with that opening goal for the pair? Yes. Is it outside the box, and is it a good tackle?
Outside the box, good tackle, Dan Burn on
Tom Lawrence
there.
Yeah,
you know, it is a good challenge, but like you say, the speed of the game, the referee's nowhere near. You know, he's got to be closer to play.
Can't even blame the fog on this.
It's not foggy at that point.
I've got to say, when you're down there, things go against you. I feel very, very sorry for Warren Joyce, and like you say, it's game management. They did show character and score goals, but at this level, you need to stop conceding them.
A 4th defeat in a row for Wigan. Tough times for Warren Joyce. OK, let's have a look at the bottom of the table. Rotherham's injury time defeat means they stay bottom of the league, 12 points off safety. Wigan and Blackburn also both lost late today and stay in the relegation zone.
Here's the other ends of the table, so just a point continues to separate the league's top 2, Newcastle and Brighton. Reading are 8 points further back in 3rd, and Huddersfield stay 4th. Leeds move up to 5th. Sheffield Wednesday are now 6th.
Stay with us for Goal Rush from Sky Bet Leagues 1 and 2, where a Christmas solo from Gwion Edwards helped Peterborough maintain their playoff push.
Welcome to Goal Rush on Football on 5. We'll start in Sky Bet League 1 with Millwall's trip to the leader Scunthorpe, who've got company now at the top of the table after Sheffield United's win at Coventry on Thursday.
Yes, proceedings were delayed when the home fans staged a pitch invasion to once again protest against unpopular owner Sisu. Billy Sharp scored the winner shortly after the game was restarted to take them level with Scunthorpe.
The Iron versus the Lions at Glanford Park, and the host responded to rival Sheffield United's victory in convincing fashion. Paddy Madden converted Josh Morris's cross for the deadlock breaker. That's 9 assists now for Morris to go with his 14 goals so far. Scunthorpe had suffered a mini blip with only 1 point for the previous 2 outings, but they were soon 2 ahead. This time Jordan Clark providing Hakib Adelakoun with the opportunity to double the advantage. Madden's second was his 6th in his last 8 League One fixtures, as he profited from a misdirected header from Millwall keeper Jordan Archer and the unselfish play of teammate Tom Hopper for the table toppers. Scunthorpe unbeaten at home now in 23 matches and the whole of 2016.
It was back to what we're about. We haven't been like that for probably 3 or 4 games, even though we've picked up some positive results apart from last week. But we looked at ourselves properly this week and broke it down to what we do throughout the team, and just sort of reminded the players about what wins us games.
Scunthorpe's win denied Bolton the chance to be top at Christmas, but they were fighting to retake 2nd place from Sheffield United on their first ever visit to the Pro Act. Zach Clough narrowly missed putting them in front. Danny Wilson's been looking to Greek mythology to inspire the Spyrites. After pushing the boulder up the hill, he says they need to make sure it doesn't tumble back down. Liam O'Neill's hard work is clearly paying off. That's 2 in 2 games for him after failing to score since January last year. Just 2 wins from their last 13 games, but it was Chesterfield whose tails were up, and Ben Alnwick needed to be at his most acrobatic to keep out Dion Donoghue. Bolton controlled much of the second half, but their finishing let them down. Jay Spearing missing in injury time. Chesterfield climb out of the danger zone, but need to make sure that boulder stays at the top of the hill.
We had to defend for our lives throughout the game. You know, it's they're a very strong team, very, very experienced side. So you know, I really can't give our lads enough plaudits to come away with 3 points after that really, really solid performance for us.
Bradford's promotion charge has been hampered by a stuttering run of form which had produced just 3 wins in their last 9 league games. And frustration levels increased after Mark Marshall was magnificently denied by Neil Etheridge. Still, the visitors kept coming and still the home defence held firm. This time Josh Cullen the man to take aim, and Etheridge again in exactly the right place. As so often happens, a failure to take chances can be costly, and it was, although Walsall's goal came from an unlikely source. Isaiah Osborne hadn't scored for 3 years, which is surprising, judging by the quality of that finish. Bradford's response came from a player who was on loan at Walsall last season. Mind you, Geordie Iwelumo would be the first to admit that he required a giant slice of luck to eventually hit the target and earn his side a point.
Matt Taylor's opener for Northampton against Rochdale was the perfect start for a Cobblers side, looking to bounce back from a humiliating FA Cup defeat to part-timers Stourbridge. But this was to be another bad day for Rob Page and his players. To the manager's frustration, Northampton held on to their lead for less than 3 minutes. Matty Lund on target for an almost instant Rochdale equaliser. It was a lesson that the Cobblers failed to learn, and an error they repeated in the second half. Sam Hoskins had shown great pace and poise to restore the home side's lead shortly before the hour mark. But Northampton's game management was once again found wanting. This time, there were less than 6 minutes before they fell prey to Lund's second equaliser of the afternoon. And once again, defensive shortcomings were playing their part. Northampton wasting chances to clear, and Lund delivering the inevitable punishment. And worse was to come. Lund soon completed his hat-trick, despite what looked like a clear foul on goalkeeper David Cornell. The goal stood, and Rochdale claimed a first away league win in 5.
It's been another wretched year in the troubled history of Charlton Athletic, but Posh are in terrific nick with 6 wins in their last 8 games. And they went ahead when Paul Taylor's inviting free kick was met with power by Ryan Tafazoli. On another day, though, Charlton might have got something out of this game, but Josh McGuinness saw his well-struck effort come back off a post. And when your luck's not in, it's just not in. This time there were groans from the home fans as Jordan Bataka's deflected shot rattled the crossbar. And the Addicts' 4-match unbeaten home run was ended as Peterborough's man of the moment, Gwion Edwards, struck again, and quite brilliantly too. This mesmeric run and finish brought his 3rd goal in successive games, and it sealed a 3rd successive away league win, which keeps Posh very much in the promotion frame.
Yes, Peterborough in terrific form at the moment. As Mickey are Chesterfield, what a result for them today.
Yeah, well, after losing 8 in a row as well, I think, you know, they're on the up again now, which is great for them. I think Danny Wilson said himself it was a bit of a smash and grab, really, but well, when you get that chance to stick it in the back of the net, Liam O'Neill done that, and yeah, they were hanging on at the end. We know Bolton are absolutely flying at the moment, but they can only play what they get playing against, and they've got that result, which is terrific for them.
Rochdale back-to-back league wins. They're playing their part in the promotion push. You like the hat-trick today?
Yeah, it's the
perfect hat-trick.
The perfect hat-trick. Here, Matthew Lund, always lively, always on the move, right foot finish.
Your range?
Yeah, definitely. And again, reacting again, plays it composure to find it with his left. You know, Keith Hill's got them playing some great football. You know, 4 wins in 5 as well at the minute, so going very well. And to be fair, it is a foul on the keeper, but he attacks it well, meets the ball at its highest point. There you go.
How is that given? The keeper is completely wiped out.
He's taken out, but you know what? He doesn't react. He goes, puts the ball in the back of the net. Fantastic hat-trick.
Hat-trick nonetheless.
Interesting decisions today, that's for sure. 6 more games now, starting with Fleetwood.
Yeah, Juve Rosler's team have scored actually in every league game this season so far. The only side actually in the EFL to do so. They started the day outside the playoffs on goal difference. Their opponents were Swindon.
Fleetwood prolific in front of goal, but have failed to win their last 7 in League and Cup away from home. They were behind when Luke Norris scored his first in the league for Swindon Town. Their advantage lasted just 10 minutes, and the man who maintained Fleetwood's impressive run of scoring in every league game was a former Swindon loanee, David Ball, with his 9th of the season. Just after half-time, Swindon had the chance to take the lead. Nathan Pond brought down Jermaine Hilton. Darren Deadman gave a penalty. Michael Doughty had recovered from a throat infection, but his failure to convert was hard to swallow as Fleetwood again stumble away from home.
Oldham fans probably wish they were away for Christmas because they've only won 1 of their last 10 league games at home, and Southend made things worse as Niall Ranger opened the scoring with a wonderfully acrobatic volley. Jermaine McGlashan replaced Ranger at half-time and confirmed another home horror show for the Latics, following up after Connor Ripley had saved to claim his first Shrimpers goal. 10 games now unbeaten for Southend.
When you're bottom of the table, you need a bit of help, and Rovers duly obliged with some hopeless, indeed hapless defending by Tom Lockyer. Keeper Will Puddy couldn't rescue the situation. Louis Dodds capitalised, 3 in 3 and 7 in the season for him. The rejuvenated Shrews made it 7 points from the last 9 available to lift themselves off the bottom and up to the heady heights of 21st. Peter Hartley handled following Junior Brown's burst, and Ian Black gave it a whack to end a dark day for the Pirates, who've lost 3 away matches in a row.
It is the season of goodwill and all that, but Port Vale took charity to ridiculous extremes in a second-half display of utter capitulation at Wimbledon. Vale are winless in their last 5 in the league now. Dominic Polian sending them on their way to another defeat on 53 minutes. And it didn't get any better 5 minutes later. Vale's defence, the gift that keeps on giving. Non-existent marking from a corner, allowing Tom Elliott a free header. After being in the playoff places in October, 1 win in 10 has seen Vale slump to 17th. And reports out of the Potteries suggest manager Bruno Ribeiro's seat is getting uncomfortably warm. Tyrone Barnett's 85th minute strike did nothing to ease his position. But worse was yet to come as defender Chris Robertson decided this was the day to score his first goal in nearly 3 years, and just to rub it in against his former club too.
Bury are in the midst of a club record run of 11 league defeats, and they made Chris Brass permanent coach this week. They started the brighter here. James Vaughan with his 3rd in 3 games. But the Shakers have failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 23 fixtures. Chris Maguire's free kick levelled matters for Oxford. Second at the end of September, Bury haven't won in 15 games, another unwanted record. But they again took the lead when Tom Pope followed up his own header to score his 6th of the season. Again, though, Bury's defending from set pieces cost them. And again, it was Maguire. 11 for him this season. He scored in all but 2 of Oxford's league wins. Twice behind, twice they came back. And then Oxford took the lead. Marvin Johnson's cross put into his own net by Greg Lee. Bury drop into the bottom 4.
These two sides were hoping to extricate themselves from the unseemly melee towards the foot of the table, and the visitors should have been ahead when Gill's former England defender Paul Konchesky fouled Ryan Coldclough. But Dean Bowditch failed to capitalise as Stuart Nelson saved his spot kick. A costly miss as it turned out as Gillingham took the points. Bradley Dack picking out Cody MacDonald for his 7th goal of the season to take Gillingham into the top half.
That result means MK Dons stay 18th. Victories for Chesterfield and Shrewsbury today see them move above Oldham, Coventry and Bury at the bottom of the league.
Up we go to the right end of the table. Scunthorpe 3 points clear of Sheffield United at the top. Bolton a point further back in 3rd. Bradford 4th. Rochdale and Peterborough complete that top 6.
Mickey, the situation for Coventry, though, so bleak, facing the prospect of relegation. And the chairman, Tim Fisher, said the club will die if they don't leave the Ricoh Arena. Such strong words. What has to happen if they're going to come back from the brink?
Well, it's such a shame, isn't it? I think obviously they've left the stadium before to merge with Northampton a few years back as well, and it wasn't good signs then. But yeah, they've got to find revenue. You know, this is a club that's got great tradition, great history, and we don't want to lose them. So I really hope they can sort this situation out because, I mean, fans going onto the pitch as well. I don't know if they're going to get a fine for that as well, but that's the last thing they need at the moment. I mean, it's a club that... It's a beautiful stadium. You know, they just need a football team that they can really support. Mark Venus is finding it really difficult there as well. If they get that revenue and they get it right there, you're looking at a great football club, but I just hope they get it right soon.
Chris, you feel for Mark Venus. He's pleading with them to appoint a new manager, but who's going to take it?
Well, like you said, if they don't address what's going on behind the scenes, it's not really an attractive job for anyone. So I feel that, like you say, it's a shame really as well. Club that's got great history, but they need to address that problem.
Yeah, an awful situation. OK, stay with us for all the League 2 action. That's coming up next, including a stunner from Sean Brisley that keeps Carlisle chugging along in the top 3. This is Goal Rush on Football on 5, and our Sky Bet League 2 action starts with the leaders.
Yes, having regained top spot last weekend, today Plymouth faced an Accrington side without a league win in 7.
The Pilgrims needed only to beat struggling Stanley to be League Two's leaders at Christmas for the 2nd year running. But this was to be a close-run thing. Seamus Keneally's doubly deflected shot came within inches of giving Accrington the advantage. This wasn't a vintage Plymouth performance, but they found a way to win. 2 substitutes combined for the only goal. with Craig Tanner guaranteeing that the Pilgrims will be top of the tree at Christmas once again. The trick will be ensuring that this term around, the new year brings promotion.
Yeovil's fans thanked their players for making their longest away trip by buying each of them a pie and a pint, but no way they could stop that spectacular effort from Sean Brisley. Not bad for your first goal for the club. Carlisle have won their last 6 league games at Brunton Park as they battle for promotion. Sean Miller came close to doubling their lead, but he hit the bar and Nicky Adams couldn't keep his effort on target. Yeovil's fans will have felt like hitting the bar themselves for that free pint as they watch United's top scorer Charlie White head home. That's 9 in 9 games for him. Last week's defeat at Barnet had followed an 8-match unbeaten run for Yeovil. They pulled one back with Nathan Smith's first of the season, but the Glovers fans will be more interested in points than pints.
I think we looked a threat in open play and in on set play second half. This first half, second half again, they made it very difficult for us, and we needed that character and that resolve and that unity to see the game out.
I feel very proud of the way the group responded in the second half, and we put unbelievable pressure on them from start to finish, and not many teams have done that at Carlisle, and we're very unlucky to come out of the game with nothing.
Today's first goal was scored by November's EFL Young Player of the Month. Take a bow, Doncaster's 19-year-old Liam Mandeville, his 6th goal in his last 6 League 2 appearances. If that set piece was sublime, this one really was ridiculous. Luke Summerfield with the comedy blunder. Tom Bolarinwa almost had the last laugh from an unlikely angle. Over 4,000 Mariners fans were in attendance, but it was derby delight for Doncaster, still unbeaten at home. Grumbles for Grimsby, who suffered 3 straight defeats, and a forgettable day for Summerfield, who couldn't find a late equaliser.
Hartlepool don't traditionally enjoy the trip down to the south coast, and the omens weren't hugely encouraging as Portsmouth pressed for the opener. Almost, but not quite, for Kyle Bennett. The visitors' recent record wouldn't have inspired much confidence either. 3 successive defeats, 11 goals conceded and no goals scored, but not this time. Another wonderful Trevor Carson save to keep Michael Doyle out meant a happier journey home.
With Blackpool unbeaten in 6 home league games, the Tangerines fans may have been confident, and Danny Pugh brought out an excellent save from visiting keeper Christian Walton as they looked to justify that optimism. But a piece of quality at the other end gave Luton the lead. An excellent counter-attacking move saw Danny Hilton set up Jack Marriott, who swept in his first goal in 12 league games. And 3 minutes into the second half, the Hatters did the trick again, and it was another terrific move, culminating in Cameron McGeehan heading home to bring up double figures for him this season and complete an historic victory. It was the first time the Hatters have notched 4 successive away clean sheets in 80 years.
I thought it was a thoroughly professional performance. You know, we saw the game out. We limited them to sort of snapshots, really didn't really have any clear-cut chances, and I thought we defended well. We defended well as a team, we defended well from the front, we pressed well, our energy was good, and we were a real threat all afternoon, I felt, and I thought we just thoroughly deserved our victory.
We felt it was a handball in the build-up to their goal, and having watched it again, I still believe that. But second half, no, we didn't produce the performances that we have here, but on reflection, the lads, that's only 2 defeats in 12, so we've got to bounce back quickly and get back on to winning ways over the Christmas period.
Back in the summer, Leyton Orient dispensed with the services of Scott Cashkett, who was quickly snapped up by Wickham. And by coincidence, the O's have been struggling for goals and wins ever since. Jay Simpson close but wide of the mark here. The Londoners have managed just 22 league goals all season. In contrast, Cashkett has been in blistering form with 10 goals in all competitions going into this one. And 5 minutes into the second half, inevitably, he made his point against the side that had given up on him. 8 wins in a row for streaking Wickham. Cashkett, the happiest man on the pitch.
Yeah, what a run they're on, Wickham, after winning 4 of their first 15, and then this.
They're absolutely flying, you know, 8 wins consecutively in all competitions, 6 in the league. And this man, you know, he is flying, 11 and 11. Comes up against his old club, and you know it's always nice to put the ball in the back of the net, but
You know, he's doing it time and time again, consistently hitting the back of the net, and like you say, winning games, absolutely flying. And what is a shoestring budget there? He's doing a great job, Ian.
Plymouth, Mickey, look like they're over their wobble as they win again, but the two sides just behind are very much keeping pace.
No, absolutely. Certainly Carlisle as well. We just heard from Keith Curle there as well, and what a goal it was, the first one, Sean Brisley. Probably just instinct. You know, he's got himself into an area here, probably didn't think it was going to come to him, but doesn't give the keeper a chance to set his feet.
Don't hit that.
That's it. You try that 100 times and they all go in the stand, but I have to say, I mean, it's a great goal. And this one here, from a youngster as well, I mean, absolutely fantastic free kick. Brilliant goal. Love to see stuff like that.
Two fantastic goals.
Absolutely.
6 more games to bring you now. We'll start with two sides looking to break into the playoff places.
Barnet have lost 2 more players, Gavin Hoyt and Sam Togwell, to National League club Eastleigh. They join up with their former manager Martin Allen and defender Bonds and Gala, who both moved there last month. Today, Stevenage were their visitors.
Stevenage have won 5 EFL away games in a row for the first time ever, so Barnet had been warned. But they still couldn't prevent Darren Sarle's side going ahead as Dale Gorman's excellent finish looked to maintain that amazing record on the road. But where would Barnet be without John Akinde? The Bees' strike has been a huge factor in their playoff push, and when he was fouled in the box by Fraser Franks, Akinde fired in the resulting penalty for his 9th goal in the last 10 games. As cool as the North London December air. Franks admitted it had been a dopey penalty to concede, but made a rather more telling contribution, setting up Luke Wilkinson to fire in his first goal in 26 league games to make it 2-1. It could have been more, but Michael Tong couldn't quite convert this free kick. Nevertheless, Stevenage fans are driving home for Christmas, full of festive cheer.
Crewe had won the last 4 meetings between these sides, and it's nearly 30 years since Cambridge came out on top in this encounter. But the U's are enjoying an impressive run of form and quietly mounting a playoff run. One-time Alex striker Uche Ikpeazu sending them on their way on 51 minutes. And the home side doubled their advantage 9 minutes later. Greg Taylor harrying Crewe's Chris Dagnall. When he got hold of the ball, he showed he knew exactly what to do with it. Cambridge on course for a 4th straight league win. Crewe were handed a lifeline 8 minutes later when James Jones steered home his 4th league goal of the season, but Cambridge were good value for the 3 points, and after being bottom in September, they're now definitely upwardly mobile.
With Exeter not having won a league game at home since April, the visit of Mansfield was their last chance in 2016 to end that barren run. Fortunately, the Grecians' Ollie Watkins was up to the challenge. It had to be him, really. Exeter's last win at home had come on the 2nd of April against Plymouth, courtesy of a Watkins double. He repeated the trick here, grabbing his 2nd goal in the 90th minute after City had survived some relentless Mansfield pressure. Steve Evans' side had dominated the second half of the game, but left with nothing, not even the full complement of players. In the 94th minute, a second bookable offence from Malvin Benning saw him collect the wrong type of Christmas card.
Not much Christmas cheer in evidence for Notts County, who arrived in foggy Essex on a 5-match losing streak. So imagine their excitement when they went in front. Elliot Hewitt scoring against his former club and daring his teammates to dream of a precious win. That joy would be short-lived, though. It took the home side just 7 minutes to equalise. Curtis Guthrie muscling his way through the gloom to grab goal number 5 of the campaign. And a defensive comedy of errors would extend Colchester's unbeaten run. Richard Duffy hit the deck and then inadvertently the back of the net. Not what he and County had on their Christmas list.
If Newport are going to survive this season, they'll need to rely on their away form, and they'll need to defend crosses far better than this, as Crawley took the lead through James Collins with his 3rd in the week. Graham Westley said he'd seen shoots of recovery as Newport led Morecambe last week before it was abandoned, and Joss Labady's shot via Josh Yorworth's head gave Newport their equaliser and their first EFL goal here. But just after half-time, Crawley once again had the lead. Jimmy Smith found Yorworth to score his first goal since August. And this time, there was to be no immediate fight back from Newport, as just 2 minutes later, Smith made it 3-1, and the Exiles were staring at a 4th straight defeat. Newport picked up 9 bookings in this match, something Wesley put down to a lack of discipline and poor work ethic, though Josh O'Hanlon came close to clawing back Crawley's advantage. Newport did get one more chance in injury time when Josh Sheehan was brought down by Mark Connolly. Now, every schoolboy will tell you the penalty taker can't hit the ball twice. Someone needs to tell Sheehan. He followed up his own spot kick, but it was ruled out. Newport will be bottom of the EFL at Christmas.
2 out-of-form teams met each other here. It was the home side on the back of 5 defeats in 6 who took an early lead. Captain Peter Murphy on hand to fire home after Rhys Turner's shot was saved. They were down to 10 men before half-time, though. Alex Kenyon seeing red for violent conduct as he lashed out at Kyle Storer with his left foot. And he wasn't the only one to be given his marching orders. Manager Jim Bentley sent to the stands for his complaints. The Robins were on the back of 3 straight defeats, but everything turned in the space of a couple of minutes. Billy Waters made it 1-1 for his 10th of the season after the scrambliest of goalmouth scrambles. And Harry Pell almost immediately grabbed what turned out to be the winner. A welcome first maximum in 7 for under-fire manager Gary Johnson.
Despite that win for Cheltenham, they stay in the relegation zone along with Newport. Only goal difference is keeping Accrington and Leyton Orient above them.
At the top of the table, the leaders Plymouth stay 2 points clear of Carlisle and Doncaster. Portsmouth and Luton are 7 points further back. Wickham remains 6th and Cambridge have moved into the playoff places.
That's it from us tonight. Our thanks go to Chris and Mickey, and happy Christmas
Merry
to you
Christmas.
both. So we'll be here as well with all the great EFL action across the festive period at the usual time of 9 p.m. on Boxing Day, New Year's Eve and January the 2nd.
We'll see you then. We'll leave you with the EFL's 3 Christmas number 1s. Goodbye.